Hey everybody, MotoPoet59 here. I'm talking a little bit about the bipartisan infrastructure framework bill. First off, there's nothing bipartisan about it. There are some Republicans who are on board with its premise, and I guess that's understandable, but they have some serious issues with the things that are in this bill so far. And as I said, the bill isn't complete, but Chuck Schumer is calling for a cloture vote on the infrastructure bill day after tomorrow on Wednesday, and the bill isn't even written. It's not even complete, and I don't know. And cloture means that for those of you who don't know, cloture is just about stopping a filibuster, and you know damn well if it were a Republican bill and the Republicans were calling for a cloture on an unfinished bill, even if it was finished, it wouldn't matter, and they call for a cloture vote, the Democrats would never be on board with it. Never. And because they want the filibuster for them, they just don't want it for us. And so this is really not a bipartisan bill, not in its current form. The Republicans have said, if you change this stuff, if you change this, and if you change this, and if you take this out, and you put this, and it's funny because to me, infrastructure is about highways and railroads and communication systems, and that's really not what this bill is about. It's going to be about communications, but it's going to be taking us back to the fairness in broadcasting, climate change, Green New Deal. It's going to involve forcing us to have electric vehicles, forcing renewable green energy on us in a very short time. It won't work. We don't have the technology. We don't have the supply line. We don't have the infrastructure to make that happen. And when I say we don't have the infrastructure, I mean the world doesn't have the infrastructure to make that happen. And this bill won't change that. And it won't change it within America either. I mean, people have stopped paying attention to whether or not bills work. When they get passed, it's like people say, okay, it got passed. Well, it doesn't matter what side you're on. You never hear the Republicans pop up and say, wait a minute, you guys passed this bill, and it hasn't changed nothing. You're doing nothing except spending this money on other things and giving it to these companies that have sucked up to you. They don't say that. They just go, we'll fight the next fight. If we lose it, we'll forget about it. And the Democrats who are doing this money that will be allocated to the infrastructure bill will not go to the places that it's supposed to go. It will not do the things it's supposed to do or complete those projects. It just won't happen. There's not enough technology. There's not enough time. It's ridiculous. And it's unfinished. The bill is unfinished. How do you call for a cloture vote on a bill that's unfinished? When you put a bill up, that's when they may or may not call for a cloture vote, because there's something there to argue against. There's no reason to have a filibuster against something that doesn't legally and technically exist. But the Democrats have decided that they're going to do this no matter what anyone thinks. And that is what they have been doing since the day Joe Biden was elected. They don't think they have to have the public support anymore. They don't care if they have public support. They don't need public support. The Democrats haven't cared about what their constituents think in decades. Why change now? They've been getting away with it all this time. All they have to do is say, look, this is going to be what's best for you. We'll tell you what's best for you. And the Democrats go, all right, okay. And because of that, we've been saddled with massive tax increases over the decades. And that's what this is going to do. Also, this is going to increase taxes. It's going to clear the way for increased taxes without having to go through any more congressional hearings or anything. It'll just be okay. And one of the things that the Republicans are against is that it gives the IRS a much broader range. They're going to be able to collect taxes on just about anything, and would give them many more employees and spend a lot of money on technology that they can use to track down taxes. And they say that it could increase our tax revenue by $700 billion over the next 10 years. I find that hard to believe. It's certainly not out of the realm of possibility, but I find that hard to believe. I find it hard to believe that the government will be able to enact something like that and not spend $1 trillion on it if it's going to bring in $700 billion. I don't like the fact that the government is shoving infrastructure down our throat. There are Republicans who are on board with this. I'm not one of them, but the RINOs are running the Republicans right now anyway, and I'm not down with them or their ideas. So this is the only place I have to bitch and complain. And only a few people listen to me, and some of them don't agree with me. So anyway, I don't know. What do you think about this bipartisan infrastructure framework bill? Have you read it? I'll bet most of you haven't. And I've been keeping, this is what I've been keeping up with. And it has taken a long time for the pieces of it to come together. And every time it seems like it might be done, they toss something else in there, which is what politicians are wont to do, not just Democrats. Closer a bill gets to actually going to the House, the more stuff gets tossed into it, with them hoping nobody will notice. Well, the Republicans noticed this, and because they noticed it, Chuck Schumer's calling for the cloture vote, and that is crap. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Shoot me an email at motorpoet59@gmail.com. Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell if you want to be notified of future content. We'll see you all later.